Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by W.GG, the energy drink for gamers, and by Eldridge Air Conditioning. Now we are with our Sunday championship. We're with the League 3 guys, and we've reached the penultimate round, round 9. Round 9 out of 10, so only one more to go after this, and it's all getting very exciting, very hot, especially at the top of the table. This week we're at Trial Mountain. I'll talk about that in a second, but first of all, what I want to do is just have a look at the league table as it stands going into this race. So we've got Harry Poppins in well, he's leading this championship at the minute, so Harry Poppins out in front on 286 points. In second is Scotty Mick with 260 points, so only 26 behind him. Frowny is in third on 240 points, so only 20 points behind Scotty Mick. Bazza is in fourth, he's on 200 points, and fifth is Enzo in with 171 points. So that's your top 5. So the top 3, well, that can change. That can all change. So yeah, some good racing to be had and some points up for grabs. So the down at the bottom and in the danger zone, in 12th position, we've got Viking on 78 points. In 13th is DB on 77. Soonest is 14th on 41. 15th is Dizzy Rip on 35, and Max is in 16th on 20 points. And to be fair to some of the guys, they've not taken part in all of the races, so obviously if you don't take part, you don't get any points. But yeah, it's all getting a bit hot up at the top. So that's your league table going into this race. Now then, this one, we are at Trial Mountain, as I've already said. 2.47 miles, 15 turns, and it's set somewhere in the Sierra Nevada in America. Several blind bends on this one, 3 tunnels, and it is a fictional track, so no corner names. So as usual, if we make some up, we'll make them up, but there are no corner names, so they are just numbers, which is a bit of a shame. But it's a good track, I like this one, and some great overtaking opportunities as well. So we'll get straight into this one, shall we, and have a look down the grid as normal. 10 minutes qualifying, and this is where the guys have all ended up. So Harry Poppins, our current championship leader, he's out on pole exactly where he wants to be. Scott just behind him in second. Enzo Jack is third. Frowny is fourth. Fifth is Wayne G. Sixth is Pete. Seventh is Phaser. So unfortunately, only 7 on the grid. Wow. The authorities at border control must have been really strict this time around, because they've not let half the grid into this race. So maybe the visas are not up to date or something, I don't know. But yeah, what a shame. But we'll get this race going anyway. More points for everybody else is what they say. So rolling start as normal, and well, as you can see, it's a bit dark out there, isn't it? I think this is a nighttime race here, so it's just going to continue to stay dark. We're not going to get any lighter, so they're going to do this one, and then we'll go through to the next morning, and we'll have a race early morning. But for now, Harry Poppins just takes us through the first couple of bends. Really tricky section of the track, very quick section of the track, but you get it wrong and the car can be thrown all over the place. Into the first of the tunnels at turn 4, a long sweeping left-hander, and then down the hill into turn 5, this tight right-hander. Little kink in the road is turn 6, and then we're into another tight right-hander and into yet another tunnel. Only a short one though. Excuse me. Got in second, then we've got Enzo Jack, Frowny, Wayne G, Pete, and then Phaser. So everybody lined up behind everybody else as they get into the tunnel. Now this tunnel is the longest straight on the track. It's 0.83 miles, so that's well, written down here, 1,340 meters downhill as well, so a great place for slipstreaming. And well, you've really got to get hard on the brakes at the bottom of it to make this left-hander at turn 9. Everybody's still going though. Scott, it looks like, is putting a challenge against Terry, and he has got that done before they get into this little chicane section at turns 10, 11 and 12, and Scott now moves up into the lead. I think it was the slipstream that helped him. Frowney has gone up into third, just behind Harry Poppins. Let's jump on board with Frowney as we head down towards turn 14. You've just gone past the pit entry there. It's a bit of a strange place to put the pit entry, but that's where it is. Into turn 14, a sharp left-hander, immediately into turn 15, another sharp right-hander, and then we're back onto the start-finish straight, and it is a race down towards turn 1. Across the finish line then we go to start lap 2, and it is still Frowney sitting in third, just behind Harry Poppins and Scott, as they go through turns 1 and 2. Now we're just going to keep sticking with the guys at the back there just to make sure they've all got through, because as I've said, that is a bit of a tricky turn, that one. You can just see Fazer at the back there taking an awful lot of grass, which you can do as you exit out of turn 3, but you've got to be careful. So Fazer just sitting there in 7th. He's a long way to go in this race. We've got 12 laps, so he's not going to be too concerned at the minute, as long as he can stay with the rest of the pack. As I say, the slipstreaming is really going to help, and now this time we're going to follow Scott and Harry Poppins through here. Now Scott's the only one not getting the slipstream. Everybody else is lined up behind him, and they're all getting a nice little tow. It's you've got to be within, I think, 8/10 of the car in front to pick up the slipstream, but I think Scott's got away with it actually, and we can see how dark it is as you come down that hill. Yeah, so Scott got away with that. I thought Harry Poppins might have got a little bit closer to him, but Harry's got his own problems at the minute, with Frowney having a right good sniff around his rear end, pushing him through these tricky sections at 10, 11 and 12. So Harry just got some defending to do at the minute. Frowney sitting in third, having a good race so far. He's keeping up with the guys in front and pushing, which is exactly what he wants to do. He's currently third in the championship, so he needs to keep himself up there and in contention. Enzo Jack currently 5th in the championship, so he would dearly love to get up on the podium today, wouldn't he? Get some decent points, maybe try over the next this race and the next one to try and leapfrog over Bazza, who's not here. So Bazza not scoring any points today, who's currently in 4th on 200 points. So Enzo Jack, yeah, if he does well over the next couple of this race and the next one, he could leapfrog himself up into 4th, but we shall see. He's 30 points adrift, well 29 points adrift, so he's I'm not sure what the points are, but he's got to do, if he can get up on the podium, I think he'll do it. Pete in 5th currently, as we come around turn 7 into turn 8 and then into the tunnel. And we're just starting to see a little bit of a gap now from Pete back to Wayne G and Fazer. They're just starting to lose touch of the guys in front, so they really do need to get a bit of a move on. Scott done enough, I think, just to keep himself in front, although Harry Poppins is a lot closer to him now. These two starting to break away slowly. Browney's still sitting there in 3rd with Enzo Jack in 4th, so Scott has now got a bit of defending to do. Harry Poppins is starting to get into his stride, and he's going to start putting the pressure on Scott as we go around the final few turns through turn 13 now, down the hill past the pit entrance. That will come into play in race 2, where there will be a mandatory pit stop. And yeah, it's in a bit of a tricky place, that pit stop entry, so it's going to be very easy to miss it. Hopefully none of the guys do, but if they do, well, there could be an issue with fuel as well. So Scott then across the line, still out in front as we start lap 4. Harry sitting in 2nd. As we said earlier, I don't think it's going to be a big concern at the minute. we have still got 8 laps to go, so anything can happen. The slightest mistake is going to be quite costly on this this track. And now we can start to see, if you look at the top right, we can start to see some of the gaps opening up. Frowney sitting there in third. He can still keep he's still keeping in touch with the guys in front. He doesn't want to get them too far away. Enzo Jack in fourth. He's doing the same. Actually got purple through sector 1, so Enzo Jack is definitely on it. Then we've got a bit of a gap then back to Pete in fifth. He's a bit on his own at the minute, no real pressure on him. He's went down the tunnel, and if we just have a look in the distance, there we go, we can just see Wayne G followed by Phaser. So these guys really do need to start putting in the lap times now. You can see the fastest is Harry Poppins on a 1:58, 1:58.6. Phaser's fastest at the minute is a 2 minutes dead really. Wayne G the same, so they need to step up the pace a little bit. Scott's in the 58s as well. Oh, only just out, look at that, 200s I think it is it? I don't know. So Scott's still out in front then. Harry Poppins, well, he seems quite happy to just follow him around at the minute, try and stay in touch. It doesn't matter what position you're in during the race, it's the position you're in when you finish the race that counts. And Harry Poppins, is, like I say, he'd be quite happy to just sit there, let Scott show him around the track, and then make his move towards the end of the race. But these two would dearly love to open up that gap back to Frowney, and Frowney likewise would like to open up the gap back to Enzo Jack. He would like to secure that podium spot. And if you can get it secured nice and early, so if you do make a mistake, at least you're not going to lose your place. But the idea is just don't make any mistakes. So into turn 5 with Frowney, and then through turn 6, and then 7 through the small tunnel, around turn 8, and then we start on down the hill again through the tunnel. This is the only lit part of the track actually, isn't it? So it's the only place the guys can actually see what they're doing. Let's just have a look and see where Harry Poppins is. Let's jump on board with Harry Poppins, shall we? Not quite getting close enough to Scott. Whether we want to, I don't know. This could be part of Harry's plan. He was on pole position and leading. Scott soon took over early in lap 1, and then Harry has just sort of sat there in second behind him, so his intentions might be just to sit there and follow Scott around. Whatever strategy you start the race with, it always seems to change within the first few laps. So it might just be a case of sticking with Scott, and Scott currently sitting in second at the minute in the championship, so although he'll get maximum points, well, not quite maximum because Harry Poppins has got the fastest lap at the minute, but Scott could take the 20 points for the win. I think it's 20 points anyway. So let's have a look. That's still going to put him just 6 points behind Harry Poppins, but then again, if Harry finishes in second, he'll still get 17 points, so the lead is extended again. So that's why Harry Poppins is quite happy to just sit here at the minute. And if we just look behind us, we can just about see the headlights pop over the hill of Frowney. So we'll go down and see if we can find any battles. Frowney in third, as we've mentioned, having a good race, keeping it nice and steady. Enzo in fourth. No pressure on him at the minute. Then we've got Pete in fifth, same with him. People are just spreading out now, aren't they? Let's have a look. Where's Wayne G in sixth, and Phaser in seventh. Phaser just starting to lose touch of Wayne G in front of him, so Phaser really needs to start picking the pace up a little bit now. We are halfway through this race, so yeah, Phaser needs to start throwing caution to the wind a little bit to try and catch up to the back of Wayne G. It'll still be good points though for Phaser. He's still going to get 10 points even if he finishes in seventh. And the guys that aren't racing obviously don't get anything. But yeah, I'm sure Fazer would want to get a little bit higher up the grid than where he is at the minute. So no real battles taking place. Everybody's quite calm and just going about their business. Nothing too exciting happening. Scott's still out in front from Harry Poppins. Frowny in third. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. We will, as Scott is just about to turn onto the start-finish straight. We're going to jump on board with Scott and we're going to follow him for a complete lap so you can see it from a driver's point of view. So across the start-finish line we head towards turn 1. A little lift there, trying to take a little bit of the curve. There is a camber in the road that throws you off there as you're going into turns 2 and then 3. Then we're heading up into the tunnel at turn 4. This it's almost like a hairpin left-hander. You come out of the tunnel, down the hill into turn 5. This sharp right-hander. Careful of the bank on the right there, and also the curves on the left. Through turn 6 and then into turn 7. Another sharp right-hander into the second of the tunnels. Second of the first of the tunnel. Third, I don't know what it is. It's a tunnel. Then we're through turn 8 and then we're now down into the tunnel for this 0.83 mile run down towards the bottom of the hill. And there's Harry Poppins just sitting there in the slipstream, but not really making enough progress to make a move. Look for this little sign on the right that's all lit up. Hard on the brakes into this sweeping left-hander at turn 9. Trying to push the track limits as far as you can, then into this kind of a chicane section at 10, 11 and 12. Down the hill we go into turn 13, and if you just look to the left as we straighten up, you will see the pit entry. There it is. That comes into play in race 2. Hard on the brakes for turn 14, the sharp left-hander. Turn 15, another sharp right-hander. Nicking a little bit of the corner there on the apex, and then his foot planted onto the noisy pedal. Heading for the line. Let's have a look what time we get. A 58.5. So that was a lap with Scott. And Frowny has now put in the fastest lap, so Frowny has decided now is the time to try and catch up with these two guys in front of him and mount a challenge. He's now got a 58.3, so he's starting to push hard now, isn't he? Harry Poppins still sitting there in second, maybe thinking about making his move anytime soon. He's certainly close enough if he can stay there for when he gets into the tunnel, into the big tunnel. Then surely he'll get into the slipstream and be able to make a move on Scott. There is no bump drafting allowed, so if he does get too close, he is going to have to make the move. Although that there is a two car length gap there between the two, so we shall see as we go over the brow there and down the hill. And yeah, Harry Poppins is still sitting there behind Scott. Frowny pushing hard now to catch up to the two guys in front of him. Oh, I thought I just saw Harry Poppins trying to make a move on Scott then, but no. Then we've got Enzo in 4th still. Wayne G, he's made his way up into 5th, so he's got by Pete. So did Pete have an issue? Oh, he has. He's got a 1 second penalty as well, so apologies we missed that. But Pete with a 1 second. Now where's Fazer? I think Fazer is just a bit too far back to capitalise on that mistake that Pete's made. So he's going to be serving his penalty soon. It's in a really annoying place actually. You just come out of turn 15. You're just trying to get the power down, and that's the penalty zone, which slows you back down again. So you've got to start again. It's so annoying. You don't really get going before you serve your penalty. But you can just see Fazer in the background then, so Pete's holding on to 6th. Fazer not close enough to, as I say, capitalise on that, which is a bit of a shame. That's the first penalty we've seen actually, so the guys are doing really well. Not really a track known for handing out penalties. Not like some of the others, a bit like Red Bull, and Watkins is another one that tends to dish out penalties. And obviously you get the Tokyo tracks. But Scott still out in front on lap 9. Harry Poppins in 2nd, Frowney in 3rd, so no change there for our top 3. So that's what the podium looks like at the minute. Enzo Jack, well, there's a bit of a gap now between Frowney and Enzo Jack, so he needs to get a move on if he wants to get on the podium, or he's waiting for a mistake from one of the guys up ahead. Rainy G in 5th. Maybe this is just not his track. I expected Wayne G to be a lot further up the field than this, but as I say, some tracks are not for everybody. And we do know that Wayne G is a quick guy. Pete down in 6th and Fazer in 7th. Now, for race 2, we usually have a bit of a mixed up kind of reverse grid. It is the first 9 that get reversed. So whoever finishes 9th starts on pole, and we go that way, and then the guys after that are definitely reversed, so the winner is at the back. It all sounds very complicated, but it's not when you do it. But with race 2, if there's only the 7 of them, then I'm sure it's just going to be a straightforward reverse grid. Oh, and Harry Poppins has got in front. Oh, we missed it. Let's have a look. It was on the start-finish straight, so Harry Poppins has got right up the back end of Scott into the slipstream and pulls to the inside, gets the move done just as they're going into turn 1. So a great move from Harry Poppins then. Now's the time, he says, let's do it. So Harry Poppins takes over the lead of this race once again. He started on pole, Scott took over about halfway through lap 1. And now we've just started lap 10, and Harry Poppins has took that lead back, and he's going to want to try and get away, isn't he? Scott, though, will have other ideas, having done most of the running for this race. So through turn 8 then into the tunnel, is Scott going to get close enough? I think he is definitely in that slipstream. But let's have a look and see whether he can get the move done on Harry Poppins. And Harry Poppins doesn't like he's defending this this line. He's not. Scott pulls to the inside. I thought Harry Poppins might have pulled to the inside to defend this, but no, Scott has the inside line and retakes the lead. As Harry Poppins has a bit of a look at the outside as we go into turn 10. But, well, that surprised me. I thought Harry Poppins would have tried to defend that. Whether this is all part of his master plan, I don't know, but Scott is back in front again. So maybe Harry Poppins is, let's go on board with Harry Poppins, maybe he's thinking of doing exactly the same things he did on the previous lap, or at the start of this lap, should I say. So get a good exit out of turn 15, get into the slipstream of Scott and try and get the moves done before turn 1 again, although he's not quite as close this time. Frowney, I think Frowney has caught up. He's not right on the bumper of Harry Poppins, but he's certainly caught up. And no, Harry Poppins can't get close enough to Scott to get the move done like he did at the start of lap 10. So he's back behind Scott again. So he's got to look at getting as close as he can to Scott when they exit turn 8 and enter into the tunnel on the straight then, so that Harry can get that move done the same as what Scott did to him. But maybe Scott will defend it better. We shall see. We are just coming around turn 8 and going into the tunnel. Harry Poppins is in the slipstream of Scott, just in front of him. So we'll just stick with these two as we go through the next couple of turns. I'm just interested to see if Harry Poppins can make this move before they get to the end of this straight. I don't look like he can. No, he's not. He is trying to put the pressure on Scott, though. He's certainly a lot closer, and you can see he's having a good look around to see if he can find a way by Scott. One more lap after this, so if Harry Poppins wants to secure his championship, then he really does need to get in front of Scott. Scott just sitting in second, remember, just behind, so the championship table's not going to change much. It will still be Harry Poppins and then Scotty Mick, but Scott will be just them couple of points closer. Harry Poppins would dearly love to win this race, which really does start to tighten the screws a little bit on the championship. So we'll just stick with him down towards turn one. This is where he made the move last time. Here we go. Harry Poppins pulls to the inside as they both head towards turn one. It's going to get a little bit tight. Oh, and he does it just in time. So the final lap, and Harry Poppins just gets himself in front. But remember, he's going to have to defend that line now as we go down that long straight towards turn 9. If he doesn't defend it, I think Scott's going to take it again. We'll just have a quick look down the field as we go. Frowny is now right onto the back of these two. Enzo Jack in 4th, Wayne in 5th, Pete is 6th, and 7th is Phaser. So back up to the top. This is where the race is happening at the minute as they come around turn 8 into the tunnel. Now, has the Harry Poppins opened up a big enough gap? I'm not so sure he has. He really does need to defend this line though, because we've seen Scott can't get the move done. Again, Harry Poppins just sticking to the normal racing line. Maybe he feels he doesn't have to defend it, but Scott's going to have a look up the inside anyway. Really, I can't understand why Harry didn't defend that one. Although they're side by side now, Harry Poppins has got the inside as they go into the chicane section at turns 10, 11 and 12, and Harry manages to hold on to it. I think he made that a lot harder than it should have been for himself, but he's still come out on top. So this is great racing from these two. Scott tried to get by, he's done everything he can. He's still not finished yet. We've still got another 2 turns to go, and we're just going to stay with these guys. Scott having a bit of a look up the inside, but there's no room there. Harry Poppins around turn 14, then turn 15, and now the race is on for the checkered flag. A flash of the lights from Scott. I think he acknowledges the fact that he's not going to get by Harry Poppins, so well done to Harry Poppins to take the win. Scott in 2nd, Brownie in 3rd, Enzo Jack is going to come across the line in 4th, Wayne G will take 5th, Pete is going to cross the line in 6th position, with Phaser not that far behind across the line to take 7th, so good points for him. That was race 1 of round 9. Join me very shortly for the second race and the final race of round 9. I'll be back soon.